Tā kirikiri ana te hau ko ripo I ngā wai. E pō kare ana ngā awa e rere kauma I ngā maunga tai atu ki te moana. Koenei te tino raru. Ki utaka tangohia he wai no ngā kōuru o ngā awa, no ngā apuna wai Māori. Kia horahia ki runga I ngā pāmu hei api I te ota kia tipu pai ai. He kai mō ngā tini kau. Kātahi, ka heke te rahi o te paru mai ngā tini kau ki runga I te whenua. Ka rere ki roto I te wai.
This is our life, this river and the Ashley. We grew up on it. We whitebaited on them, we fished out of them. This is how we survived. The impacts on these rivers nowadays, when the flow stops, is you can't even swim in them. The water becomes that toxic that you can't even take your dogs to it. We not only swam in these rivers, we drank the water out of them, we cooked in them, we washed in it. We'd go up there whitebaiting because that's how we made our living. Well, the toxation comes from the runoff from the dairy. All the fertiliser that they're putting into the ground, it's got to go somewhere. As it drains into the rivers, it just turns it into poisonous mess.
So you've got high nitrogen levels, all different sections of the awa, which is feeding all this plant growth. So when you get those minimum flows, you get those still hot days, it just blooms and explodes.
Just quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere, when you start looking for it, you can see it everywhere.
Yeah. So you're seeing all the remnants of it there.
That's fresh, that's kind of relatively, relatively young.
So that's all young stuff.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Today, I believe as the awa die, I will die with it.
Te Ike o Rākau Hautu is the traditional name, one of the earliest names actually for Te Waihora, Lake Ellesmere. Ko tu mātua te mau, ko Huritini te awa, ko Te Waihora te apua, ko Te Rua Hiki te takata, ko Craig Pauling taku ingoa, so kia ora, I'm Craig. The fish basket reference obviously is in relation to the bountiful supplies of fish, native fish especially, that were gathered from Waihora and still can be, mainly the tuna, but it's probably most significantly the Pātiki. There's three species of Pātiki. The Pātiki tōtara, the yellow flounder, the Pātiki mohoao, the black flounder, and then just the normal Pātiki, the sand flounder. So there are the three species of flounder we get here in the lake, as well as the awa, the yellow-eyed mullet, inanga, everything. You know, there's the fish, the native fish especially are there, and obviously today that's a bit of a thing for us because the lake hasn't really been managed for those fish for the last 200 years. It's really been managed for drainage, for the land around it rather than the fish. My uncles have told me that from the 1960s onwards is when they noticed the lake starting to flip, and that's from that point onwards I think is where the clarity of the lake degraded. So even though the early 1970s, I've been told the lake was still clear, but obviously from that point till now, we've got a green lake 100% of the time. So when you look at the aerial photos of the map of the lake, it's green, right? And you'll get some shots when the lake is open, which has probably happened the last time a couple of months ago, and you'll just see the green plume coming out into the bay, and it obviously tracks around the peninsula. And I remember going to a meeting out at Taumotu actually, because I was a young person coming in and going, what's going on here, why can't we sort this out? And I remember having a meeting with my uncles and aunties with people from Environment Canterbury, and it was just at the start, this is the mid to late 90s, just at the start of the dairying coming in, hitting hard. And they sort of were telling us then that this is going to be big. From that time till now, it's obviously had that dairy boom. We've got extraction of the water out of the rivers, so you're dropping the whole water, surface water column, as well as the groundwater system. But not only that, you're also putting that dirty water back into the system, either through the surface water or straight through the ground into that groundwater system, which is, people say, is the best water in the world in Christchurch here. But it's, you know, for the first time this year we've had our water chlorinated, right? Which has never been, the link's not been made to dairying, but hey, that is out there putting pressure on it. You've got to read between the lines, I suppose, about that input of fertiliser as well onto the land, going straight through, as well as the mimi and the tekor from the cows on the paddocks 100% of the time, with no barrier to stop them, going straight through our beautiful gravels into this aquifer system and then heading towards the lake. And it's, you know, we've been told that that's got another 50 years to come yet. So even if we stopped it today, we've still got 50 years of nutrient-rich water coming for our lake. So, you know, like I said this morning, how does that make you feel as mana whenua or tangata whenua? You know, I remember fishing with Uncle Donald out here catching pārtiki, and we were almost joking, you know, about the quality of our water. Just trying to make ourselves feel okay about these fish we were gutting and going to eat and provide to our families, knowing that maybe they're going to make us sick. And you know, that's a hard thing to do. We don't actually serve our pārtiki to our manuhiri at our marae anymore. Actually, I've never seen a tuna or a pārtiki on the table at Taumotu, you know. And I think it's because we feel conscious that they might make people sick, so we can't do it, you know. It's a hard thing to deal with. It makes you feel hurt, really. And I think the flow-on effect of that is for my kids and, you know, my grandkids to come, is that you know, I've forced my kids to come out to the lake and come with Uncle Donald and go get pārtiki, and I'm proud of that. But of course they're onto it. They can see the colour of the lake straight away, and they know that that's not right. And of course they don't want to be there. They think it's paru, you know. And they tell me that. They go, "That lake's paru, Dad," you know. And they're right. So what do you say?
He ara tika ki mua i a tātou kia whaia no ngā tikanga a kuima a koroma, e a konei ngā tamariki ngā mokopuna, ko te oranga wai Māori, ko te oranga a iwi. Nō reira, kai a tātou te mana kia hiki, kia hapai ake te mauri ora o ngā awa.